What's up, guys? Welcome to my Marksman Hunter guide for Hellfire Citadel in patch 6.2.4 for Warlords of Draenor. In this guide, I'm going to go over talents, glyphs, abilities to be using, and such. Force this all the encounters in Hellfire Citadel specifically, and kind of what I'm thinking as I go along. So for the first boss, definitely just go. I mean, your talents don't really change as the hunter, but go barrage. At the start, pre-pot, stampede, I would barrage right away as soon as you pop your cooldowns, including your trinket, the AoE trinket, because those ads don't last very long, and you do want to get the value out of barrage right from the start as you can, and then just go do your single target rotation. Aim shot, chimera shot, and steady shot. Just always again remember that you want to be able to chimera shot off cooldown as much as possible. In this fight, like right now, there's kind of some dead time, so if you don't have anything to hit, that's a little different. But do make sure you have enough focus to chimera shot, especially if possible when there are at least two things close to each other, so you get the value out of that cleave. Basically, you can barrage whenever there's several targets. I would probably recommend like three plus at least here on this fight. Technically, anything more than one is enough value as long as they live for the full duration, but that's kind of up to you on this fight. Obviously, prioritize the targets you're supposed to be here. Switch to the vehicle, because you're ranged. You're kind of supposed to do that. Even though this group doesn't really need that much focus on specific ads. But do try to target depending on how your guild is progressing. Target the berserkers, the vehicles, any casters that have changed into terrors. Here I kind of waste my trinket, but use it on cooldown if possible. Just kind of get used to how your tank moves and make sure you're not dropping it and then your tank runs away and it's like, god damn. So do try to put that in a place where they're going to be standing for a little while, if possible. And if there's downtime, just wait it out. And then just single target rotation for the most of it, except for barrage. You pretty much don't want to use multi-shot ever in general, because even if you could hit 7 things, you're probably better off cleaving off the one target and then just barraging for AoE. So here I see a couple things, but there's only 2, so I'm just going to single target here. Chimera shot, some aim shots, steady shots to build focus. Then wait till there's more things, and now I'll go ahead and try to barrage. Except I think I used a little too much focus there. And try to kill this vehicle first. Crusher is pretty high priority. Drop cooldown if someone ringed. My trinket. And then finally got to the AoE because there's a lot of stuff up. And then just kind of single target things. And I know things die really quick. We have a couple of enhanced chamois and other big AoE classes, so I don't get that much opportunity to AoE. I disengage and run over to kill this artillery. Just single target down, make sure you get those kill shots in when you can as well. Executes are pretty nice. And yeah. So when you see a big group like I did just a little bit ago, barrage over there. Normally you should wait till after the high priority ad is dead, i.e. the artillery, but I happen to know this group will kill it regardless if I'm there or not. So just keep that in mind. So here we got a bunch of ads, so barrage, and make sure you turn your barrage so that you can hit the most number of things possible. Sometimes you can clip things on the edge of it, so try to include everything that you can. So I've got my trinket here, I just drop, hoping they don't move, which they didn't, so that's good. I see a terror, but it's already dead by the time I get around to it. That's pretty much how the fight goes. For me, I just do mostly single target. Of course, barrage. And this is mostly how any AoE fight's going to go for a hunter. I mean, you just have barrage for marksman, really, as an effective AoE. This is the only fight where you might even find more than 7 things together at once. And even then, I still don't use multi-shot, so... The trick on this fight is just getting your chimeras in to hit like 2 things, getting executes in all the time, getting barrage in, when you can, and then making sure your trinket gets value by making sure things don't move too far from it once you put it down. So there was a bunch of stuff there, so I barraged, making sure I hit the target as well, the vehicle. And then I'm just kind of hitting stuff off here. Trinket's up, so use that, execute when I can there. I've got barrage up, so I'll use it here. I just had to build some focus and make sure I was in the right spot to hit everything. I just single target the berserker here, chimera shot, and some aim shots. Tried to get a kill shot, but I'm pretty sure I missed that. Couldn't quite catch him before he died. And then just a little more single target. Barrage is up, so I'll go ahead and use that. See, even though they're kind of spread here, you can turn in such a way that you hit both sides. Both the casters and then the engineers over there. Now there's a high priority add, so go ahead and single target that down. And then I just keep going. Here I make sure I hit the casters because he's closest to the other caster, plus they're both fairly high priority. And we got bored, so we pushed 3 of them at once, because why not? But obviously try to avoid doing that if you're progressing. Yeah, so trinkets up, use that. They're tanking pretty much around that area, so... For this guild, it's kind of a hit and miss when things will actually stay there or not. I don't know. Our tanks are silly, but but they get the job done. And yeah, so just catch things, chimera shots when you can, aim shots, and then definitely kill shots as you can, because ads don't last very, very long in this fight, so... And at this point, the fight's already over, and that's pretty much how Hellfire is going to go. So that's why I'm ignoring the Flame Belcher. Just, fight is over. Just needed to hit the door, and there we go. Alright, for Iron Reaver here, we're just going to go switch out Barrage for Power Shot. I like full single target here. What you can do at the pre-pull is, after you pot, you can pre-cast Power Shot because it's got a cast time. I didn't here, but I generally don't want to use it during rapid fire. Just line up your cooldowns, your trinket, and your rapid fire with the ring, and then just a full single target, like target dummy fight essentially. Just move away from mechanics, and you can kind of chase her halfway during blitz if you disengage smartly, but otherwise you just wait for her to come back. It's fine as well. As long as you have sniper training up from standing still, you can reach her in most places, so just be aware of that. Generally, I mean, some people will use Barrage in this fight if you get to the bomb phase. Even then, it's not super useful, but that's the only time you would use it. So I go Power Shot, and everything else is just pure single target. You know, start executing her with Kill Shot when you can, and just kind of follow and pew-pew her. Always remember, you know, keep your focus high enough for Chimera Shot, and follow the rotation in the Marksman Hunter guide that I put up a while ago. And you should be fine on this fight. Nothing too special. If you kill it really fast, like in this fight, I mean, go ahead and second pot. Here I follow her with disengage a little because I know I can catch her. Move out of the way, but can still follow her. But pre-pot when you get the chance, because she's almost dead here. You know, the blitz comes at a minute, and that's pretty much all this fight's gonna do. Just make sure you get your trinket down when I kind of missed here, you see, but when she's steady and stable, not moving, and that's pretty much all there is to this fight. Moving on to Kormrok, I do go back to Barrage for the hands, but you can go Power Shot if your group happens to destroy the hands way too quickly for you to get value out of it. But I do keep Barrage most of the time. So I'll pre-pot here and pop Stampede, but I wait for the ring pop to use my cooldowns. Now I believe in this kill I don't line up the trinket, the spinners, for a Mirror of the Blade Master for the hands because I know they die too quickly. But you can if you want. Just do be aware they do move in different directions, but it's probably worth it if you have the hands up for a significant amount of time. So here, hands happen. I've been doing my rotation till then. Pop cooldowns, barrage, and then just kind of single target. You can kill the hands. I'm confident that my group will kill them, but at that time I was just focusing on the boss after doing a little AoE. I actually do use the trinket on the hands, and then it's just a single target fight other than the hands. Spread out when you need, and then just follow the single target rotation. Chimera shot every time it's up, and make sure you save enough focus for that, and otherwise dump focus with aim shot, build focus with steady shot, and all that good stuff. When he gets below 35, execute him with kill shot. Do be aware when you get the crushing hands that the tank gets into. Chimera shot's really good. You don't really have to change too much. You can switch to it because it'll hit both the boss and that hand. But do make sure you can squeeze as many Chimera shots into it as possible. Also, again, kill shots on that hand if possible, because there's not really other ads that last long enough for executes. So here's Foul Crush. I don't have Chimera right now, but switch to it. Get a couple kill shots. Oh, there's a Chimera. Hit both the boss and the hand. Free execute, so you can get You can't use on the boss quite well, I guess we can, but sometimes you won't be able to. And then if the hands do come back up, you should always have Barrage ready for them. So if you, for whatever reason, if you use Barrage on like the hand, you can use it on the Crushing Hand on the tank as well as the boss, because it's technically worth it when there's more than one. I tend not to. I just like to focus it down and kill it. But yeah, other than that, make sure you have Barrage for the hand phase always, because that's where you get the most value out of it. And that's pretty much all there is for Kormrok. Alright, here we are at Hellfire High Council. For this one, I generally recommend taking Barrage, because you can hit all three of them at the same time if you angle yourself properly. But if you're just focused on single target, you can Power Shot if you like. So make sure you drop your trinkets at the beginning once the bosses have been positioned, so you don't miss all the DPS if they get moved out by your tanks. And then just, follow your single target rotation on the prioritized boss, whichever your leaders told you. Your Chimera Shot's going to help you out passively here, just with passive cleave, as long as these two bosses, the Blade Master and Xhul'horac, are close to each other. And of course, if you get the Fixate, hit Xhul'horac to make sure you're getting that extra buff, and then kill shot as you can. If you happen to get to the images phase, make sure you're using Barrage on the mirror images. And then, whenever you get the chance, when Barrage is up, make sure you have enough focus for it and kind of angle yourself so that you can catch at least two bosses, more ideally all three. So generally being in like the middle of the room kind of, and splitting the difference between the two will help you out there. So the rest of it's just single target. We don't get to the images here, so you don't get to see that, but you'll just catch, you don't get the Chimera Shot cleave them because they're too far, but you can Barrage them, angle yourself to catch as many as possible, and then kill shot when you get the chance on those, because you'll be able to Chimera Shot whichever ones are alive, but unless they're low enough, you can't kill shot them, so just squeeze those in as you can for extra DPS. That's pretty much it for this boss. I mean, technically I could be barraging here to catch both the bosses, but the DPS increase is pretty minimal over just single targeting, especially if I'm not certain that I can catch both without getting into a really funky position and losing my sniper training buff from standing still. So here we'll just finish this boss up, try to catch as many kill shots as I can before he dies, because I can't quite execute the other boss yet, so it's just extra DPS again. That's pretty nice to have. So I try to, but he dies too quickly there. And I just finish up the last boss. I drop my trinkets here. I believe the boss moves after this, so because of Reap. So I miss out on some time. Just you can keep an eye on the timer. Maybe don't use it right before Reap is coming. Wait for them to move and then use it. But I just finish up single target this boss. Nothing too special. On the last boss, don't use Barrage anymore because there's only one target. And then just clean him up. Nothing too special in this fight. It's the little single target, passive cleave, and then Barrage. For Barrage, just make sure you angle yourself to catch as many targets as possible. Moving on here to Kilrogg. You want single target unless you're going into visions. You can use Barrage on the ads, but I like to prioritize them. Plus, they don't tend to live too long in this group. But if they are living in the group and you want to AoE them for whatever reason, you can keep Barrage. In this case, I don't actually get to go into visions because if he dies too fast, so I should have gone Power Shot. But I kind of slipped and I forgot to change. So at the beginning, you can pop your cooldowns. I generally save Stampede for Bloodlust and or Visions if you come out of Visions. The ads spawn here, so they're kind of your responsibility as range, so make sure you're concussive shotting to slow the Bloodthirsters, or you can use Frost Trap if you like, whichever. I prefer concussive shot when I can, and if it's on cooldown, then I use the other trap. And then you can also use Explosive Trap to knock the ads back if you glyph it, but just make sure you don't knock them forward instead, which would be really bad. For the Bloods, just kill them because they can't be slowed, and just make sure you're standing in the right position, and just single target the boss. Barrage, again, doesn't get used pretty much at all, I think, by me this fight, because I kind of forgot it was there, because I was thinking I should be power shotting. But if you're inside the visions, make sure that you save Barrage for a useful time. You want to use it when there's a bunch of ads up in there, not necessarily right at the start, and you can also save your Spinners Trinket your Mirror of the Blade Master for that as well, if you like, rather than using it on the boss outside. So here Visions goes in, so I would be in there, Chimera Shot to cleave stuff, especially the bigger ads, stay out of fire, and if you want, you can multi-shot a little bit there. If you need to move in a hurry here with Heartseeker, disengage. You can deterrence to kind of help the healers if you need to, but you will lose DPS, of course. And then just slow the ads again, kill the ads as you can. The blood here, trying to get that killed. And then I see another ads drop, so I'll go ahead and switch to that. Concussive to slow it when I can here. And then just finish it up. Try to steal those, or not steal really, but to kind of squeeze in those kill shots on these ads. They don't last too long, or they shouldn't be. But so every kill shot that you can get that you can't get on Kilrogg is a DPS buff. So here we pop all our cooldowns. I'm trying to kill this ad, but it dies. So I just switch over, pop Stampede on my cooldowns, and then just single target. Now I still want to hit the ads here. As a hunter, you're really, really good at doing this, so it's really important that you do so. Even if you go into visions, still do that. Although you'll pretty much be one-shotting everything. And that's pretty much all there is to Kilrogg. Now, as far as Gorefiend goes, it's pretty much the same as Kilrogg. You can go Barrage for ads, but I like to focus them, and they die really quickly in this group anyway, so I go Power Shot. If you do, just make sure you can pre-pull with Power Shot, 2 seconds after the pot and stuff, before the pull. Just make sure if you're going in, I like to wait that second or two just to see if I'm getting sucked in, so I didn't use my cooldowns here. It's kind of a waste either way. Your DPS will always suffer if you get pulled in first, because you don't get to really utilize the ring. Inside, just like with Kilrogg, you want to be slowing ads with Concussive Shot. You can use Frost Trap to slow them. You can also use Explosive Trap to knock them back if you glyphed it, which can be useful. Just don't knock them into the center. That should be really bad. You can also use Binding Shot if you want to stun. You have a lot of resources, and as a ranged, you don't have to move very far from the center at all. So I drop a trap here, but I'm about to die, so I walk out. Make sure you don't die in there, and then when you're outside, switch to the ads as you need to. You are really good. Again, you can slow them, you just can't stun them anymore, the little guys, the constructs. I help him kill this. I Chimera Shot because he's close to the boss and it gets a little cleave action on the boss going, which is always nice. So try to squeeze that in if you can. And there's a lot of kill shot potential on the ads outside here. They tend to be coming out pretty low. But do slow them when you need to. And kill them off. Now, dropping your trinket, make sure you drop it on the boss. Generally, it's not worth dropping it on any of the ads. They shouldn't be up that long, and they move anyway. So, just drop it on him to get full value. Now, make sure you save your cooldowns for Feast of Souls. It's really important. You can use your cooldowns if you don't get pulled in at the start. You can use Rapid Fire. You can't use Stampede if you want to use it on the first feast. And just make sure they're up for the Feast of Souls. The first feast is 2 minutes out. And then the second feast after that is 3 minutes, so you will always have your cooldowns if you use them properly. If you guys lust or hero on the second or third Feast of Souls, if you're getting there, then you can use Stampede at the start, because it'll be 2 minutes for the first and then another extra 3, which is 5 total for the second feast, so you will have it up. But if you're lusting on the first one, or you kill him really quickly like that, then you want to save it until he feasts. So here we get feast, we kill off the ads really quickly. And then, build up some focus. You can try to pull up a little focus here. I'm waiting for the ring to be popped. And then I pop all my cooldowns. And just kind of go single target dummy on him. As a DPS, you don't have to worry about those little spirits from the back. It's really a tank's job most of the time. So just sit there and DPS. Pretty much. And during the fight, if you need to move, obviously, to drop like a Touch of Doom or Shared Fate, always use Disengage with Post Haste, can get you across the room pretty quickly. And at this point, you just single targeting the boss, killing him off, and that's all you need to do. Just keep your, make sure your Chimera Shot's going off when it's up. Make sure you're kill shotting, after that as your second priority. And then just dump focus with, Power Shot and or Aim Shot. That'll do it for Gorefiend. So here we are at Shadow Lord Iskar. For this one, you definitely want to have Barrage. That's really good for the ad phases. The ad phases are kind of the more important parts anyway. So at the beginning here, depending on your DPS, you may or may not want to use Stampede. I just do out of habit, but we tend to kill. We get to the third ad phase. If you can have your Stampede up by the third ad phase, then you can go ahead and use it. You can use it at the start because that's the important part. But if you know that you get there too quickly, then don't use it at the beginning. So you can save it for that. Now, actually, this is a pug group, so I wasn't too confident about the DPS, but so I just went with Stampede just to see if see how it would go. So you just single target Iskar. You can pop everything as usual. Follow the ring basically for cooldowns. So here, make sure you start barraging as soon as you can, just to get value on those ads because there's a lot of ads at this first one. And you don't want to miss out on getting a full barrage on those, as many as possible. After that, just focus on the Talent Priest and kind of cleave off of it. I would definitely not be multi-shotting at this point. Definitely just Chimera when you can, and then single target after that, and then Trinket when you have it. Of course, you want to prioritize Chimera because you want to do the most damage possible to the prioritized ads, but then after that you can barrage, I would say, next in priority at that time. And then don't forget to squeeze those kill shots in when you can, on especially on the big ad, but also on the little ads too. Just because it's extra damage and they are somewhat relevant. And then once they're dead, move back to Iskar, just do your single target rotation, get those chimeras as often as possible, make sure you save focus if it's coming up soon. And then, dump focus rather with aim shot, and then build it with steady shot. And that's pretty much this fight. So we're back to single target here. You move when you need to. There's not too much you can do that's special. Just make sure you are getting as many barrages off as possible when there's AoE potential. And then otherwise just single target off of one of the prioritized ads. The Shadowfell Warden, the Corrupted Talon Priest, or the Fel Raven, whichever your raid leaders told you to kill first. Also, just keep an eye on his health. Remember, he transitions at 70%, then 45%, and then 20%. So just keep an eye on cooldowns. If you're approaching, the ad phase, make sure you have your trinket ready and all that. But mostly you'll just be following whenever they ring and such. So here you have ads. So I Chimera first, pop cooldowns, drop trinket, and then barrage, just to get that damage up. But then I'm just focusing on this Warden, because again, first of all, there's now the less than 7 ads, so you wouldn't be multi-shotting anyway, but even if there were, it's really, really important to kill the prioritized ads, these high priority ads. So as a Marksman Hunter, your single target is really, really strong versus your AoE. It's pretty much when you have it, barrage, as long as it doesn't interfere with your Chimera shots getting off, and then kill shots after, and then just dump the rest of your focus with aim shots when you don't have barrage. And so here, always try to squeeze in those Chimera shots if possible. When there's, 2 ads or the boss and a couple ads, things like that. Because you can always get extra damage as it splits off and hits 2 targets, as well as any kill shots on ads since the boss isn't quite below 35% yet. Always nice to get those free executes out when possible. And then Iskar is just Iskar right now, so we'll just single target him down. Nothing too special here, just follow that priority system. Make sure your focus never dips too low for when you need it, specifically for Chimera shot. And then just kind of watch timers, watch your cooldowns. Here I have the trinket available, but I'm thinking we're getting fairly close to the ad phase, and I want to save it for that because that's when it's basically when it's crunch time. So now he's in execute range, so you add kill shot into your rotation, second priority right after Chimera shots. And then once we get to the ad phase, what I will mention in this last ad phase is the Raven tends to drop pretty late versus the other two. So you might start hitting something else while you're waiting for it, and you definitely would save barrage until he lands. So here they pop everything. I don't have quite a stampede yet, so I'll drop the trinket, go rapid fire, then I switch over to the Raven and Chimera, and then kind of move out of fire, and then I start barraging. at some point. Actually, I think I was more concerned because I realized the raid was in trouble. So I'm just single targeting right now. You could barrage here, but I've decided to. Oh, there we go. I did end up barraging there. I popped the ring, which is why I ran in, because no one was popping it. And it was kind of important there. So I've prioritized just single target there mostly, trying to get that Raven down. But you can also just barrage once you've Chimeraed and popped all your cooldowns. And then you just finish up here. So here's just like a 2-target fight, so just single target rotation. Chimera's just going to do a little extra damage passively as long as they're close enough for you. And that's all there is to Iskar. So just single target when Iskar's down alone, and then still, well, the marksman life really. You know, still single target, but barrage being higher priority than aim shot in AoE situations. Make sure you finish up the ad first, and then you can go back to the boss here. He's pretty low, and I Chimeraed, so felt like I contributed enough there. And that's pretty much all there is for Iskar. Just kind of switch between the two and prioritize what you need to, and cleave off the important ads that your raid leader has told you to. And he's dying pretty slowly because, as you can see, a lot of people are dead. But just follow that priority system. You know, if cooldowns come up, use them right away at the end. Just try to squeeze in that extra damage. And that will pretty much do it for this boss. I drop Trinket just at the end, a little bit extra damage. Obviously won't get full value, pop my cooldowns, why not? Ring. And then we finish him off. And moving on, we got Socrethar the Eternal. This is mostly a single target fight. Now you might be assigned to ghosts, so in case you are, go ahead and use barrage, which is what I'm using because I am on ghosts in this video. So we just start the fight, and I stampede because I know I'm not really going to be on the boss anyway, so there's not really a great time for me to stampede later. If you want, you can hold it if you get to be on boss during second phase. But generally, we sit here, this group, this pug group ringed right away, so I pop my cooldowns as well. If they don't, obviously, again, save your rapid fire for ring. Just line it up whenever your raid uses that. So the first phase, really simple, just PP the boss, she's like a target dummy for you. Move out if you have mechanics and such. If you are not assigned to ghosts in phase 2, make sure you are interrupting, killing, and killing the shadow callers. As a range, is kind of your responsibility. You can also use things like glyphed explosive traps to try to knock them, but mostly you would just be killing them and interrupting them as you can, and then hitting the boss is kind of a later priority. So here we go to phase 2. Just PP the boss a little, kind of see which way he's going. Okay, he's going this, you know, toward the red portal this way, and then check out where the ghost portal is. It's all the way over there. So I do try to squeeze in some time on the boss, but generally if it's a long distance one like this, you could just get stuck on the ghost because you don't have time. So Dominator's out, I hit it once, and I realize, okay, it's ghost time. So I drop a Frost Trap because our construct didn't quite make the fire line long enough. You barrage right away, and then after that you just start picking them off. Don't try to keep AoEing after the barrage. You can save Trinket for this sometimes if you need. He ran me over with fire here, that's unfortunate. But you just try to pick them off. So, you know, get kill shots when they get low, chimera shots when you can to cleave, and then just dump focus into aim shots. Generally, I try not to barrage a second time because the ghosts come up they come up pretty quickly. So, every 20 seconds or so. So you want to save barrage so you always have it just one time at the start, and then kind of go from there. So here, they ring eventually here, so I ended up popping rapid fire. Again, I would just line it up with it as much as possible. In this case, I noticed that the ghosts are going down fairly well. We have a Boomkin helping out, so I save Trinket and I just drop it on the boss to get more value out of it. Hit the Dominator a bit. Now, one thing about your Frost Trap, he's being really bad about like having fire on the ghosts. So your Frost Trap is actually not going to be up every time they came up because your trap is 30 seconds. its cooldown, and they come up every 20 seconds or so. So do what you can. I mean, you can also use Binding Shot to stun them if you need. If you can also use Explosive Trap with the glyph to knock them, but be careful you don't like knock them out of the fire, which could be really, really bad. So be very careful if you're not used to that. Generally, I just use it to knock a stray one back into the group rather than trying to knock the whole group back. So here we are, go back, start barraging again. And again, also Binding Shot won't also always be up because it's a 45-second cooldown, so every 2 or 3 packs it'll come up. But generally, barrage and then start picking them off. You kind of like pick them off rather than full AoE because you just don't have that capability really. So here the portals don't move, so we get lucky because he wasn't being too good about fire. But if you can, you can squeeze in Chimera shots on the boss and Dominators, but again, you generally want to save that because it is really useful on Ghosts, if you are on Ghosts. If you're just on the boss, it's basically single target, switch to the caster ads as they come out, interrupt them with counter shot when they're casting the dot, Shadow Word Agony, and then let's go from there. Now here you can also use Concussive Shot if one gets away like this. So I slow it down, I'm trying to kill it, trying to save this guy, I don't know what he was doing out of line. And then I knock him back with an Explosive Trap, or someone knocks him back. And I don't know what that was about there, that fire line. A little awkward. But we'll keep going. And just keep doing Ghosts. So slow them as you can with traps. Oh, this is the one. So one gets away here because someone's out of line. So I barrage, I slow him down, kill him, drop a trap to knock him away. I accidentally travel time's a little further than I expected, so I knocked him toward him, sort of, but I knocked him so far that he got time, and somebody gripped him to save him. So a little bit of a misuse of the explosive trap there, but that's the idea. If you want to knock it away from someone, and just that one that gets away. There you go, just more Ghosts, so more Barrage. We go back to phase 1 here because Construct died, DPS is too low, all that kind of stuff. And then everyone comes and helps out here, but just slow the ones that get away. Cleave down with Chimera Shot, and then execute with kill shots as you can. And then otherwise just do your single target rotation and kind of kill them as you can. Okay, and then if you go back to phase 1, then you just do the same thing. Single target rotation. Clean up the ads first, definitely. You want to kill those. They're higher priority than the boss, and then just go back to the boss. Clean them up. At this point, well, still, you want to be lining up your cooldowns with the ring, so whenever they decide to. I noticed that he is really low. If you look on the right side, you can see his actual health bar, the soul of Socrethar. So any cooldowns that come up, if we're not ringing or anything, I will happily use, like Stampede I decide to use, because he's not going to be alive very long once he actually drops out of the suit. So I just want to get through this faster so that we can get done with the fight. In general, you'll want to regroup if you do get into phase 1 like this, but it's okay. You can use deterrence on Orb if you need to, if you want to reposition through the fire, like I think I do here. Just kind of want to get into healing range, so I'll just take that. And you can always disengage across fire or to get out of it if you happen to get stuck in it. And then you just keep going. So this was with Ghosts. Again, if you don't have Ghost duty on your Hunter, you can always help out with a trap if they get strayed. Now, if the fire lines are really good, you don't have to use Frost Trap because they'll be slowed already. But if they get out, it's generally when I use it. Like, you notice the fire wasn't really down well, like for far enough to catch them at the start, so I used it then. And then if they got, if they come veer off to the side and get out of fire, you can use it then, or a Concussive Shot. He comes back here, and then you just finish him up. I think we get a Dominator, but I just want to make sure Ghosts, again, he didn't quite make it, so I drop a Frost Trap, but I think he calls the way that it calls for Prison, so we don't actually end up killing the Ghosts. So I just switch here, kill the Dominator, and then kill the boss. If you have Minari, just make sure you're getting heals, like you're close enough to get heals, or someone comes out with you, and, just stay away from the group. And that's Socrethar, with and without Ghosts. Alright, now we are at Fel Lord Zakuun. And for Fel Lord, it's just a pure target dummy for you, aside from some just moving out of things. So, go Power Shot here, and I would pre-pull with Power Shot, so around 1 to 2 seconds, start casting. You know, pre-pot, start casting. I don't do it here, or I kind of do it here. I'm a little late, though. I just don't want to pull too early. And then pop all your cooldowns with Ring at the start. And there's really not much here. It's literally a target dummy for you. You know, if someone calls for you to go send and stuff, go send and stuff. Avoid purple waves, all that good stuff. You know, suck what you need to. But just make sure you're following the priority, single target priority. So, you know, always have enough focus for Chimera Shot when it comes up. Dump Rage with Aim Shot, and we've got nothing else to do, and you need to build focus. I said Rage there earlier, but I meant focus. Then use Steady Shot, and then when it gets below 35%, don't forget to Kill Shot. Second in priority only to using Chimera Shot. So remember Chimera first, and then Power Shot's coming up, so Aim Shot once, then Power Shot. During Rapid Fire, again, I would mention that Power Shot probably less of a priority, because the extra crit you get from Aim Shot and Rapid Fire is really, really good. And, you know, refunds focus, so it just makes it even better. But as soon as Rapid Fire goes off, you know, then you can Power Shot before you Aim Shot, at least. So I've soaked a little puddle here. I'm just gonna... Don't even move. This is how much of a target dummy he is at this point. Just make sure you're avoiding mechanics, you know. Make sure if you're gonna drop your trinket, that you are dropping it at a time and a place where the boss won't move. And then just, you know, pew pew him. Now, one thing, just be careful with Power Shot during phase 2 when there's a bunch of waves coming, that you don't get stuck trying to cast, you know, when you should be moving, because otherwise you have to cancel it because you can't cast it while moving. Other than that, though, pure single target, nothing too special. If you have a different trinket that you prefer over spinners for single target, I don't think I can think of one really for hunters. You could use that, but there's really nothing special about DPSing this guy. Just straight single, practice on a target dummy, and eke out as much DPS as you can. And that's Fel Lord. Now moving on to Xhul'horac here. You will want to go Barrage definitely. There's a lot of AoE in this fight, and they're pretty high priority. Plus you can hit pretty much everything, depending on where they are. But set the pool. You know, I pop Stampede. It's a decently long fight sometimes. Of course you will save Barrage and go ahead and use your cooldowns with the Ring. One thing you can do though, you could hold off on the trinket. I use it right away here out of habit. I wasn't really thinking. Normally you'll want to drop your trinket on the imps right here, but definitely save Barrage, and Barrage actually lines up with the imp timer pretty much. So you do want to just use one Barrage per imp wave. Sometimes there's like that small delay because Blizzard and reasons, but just save Barrage for imps when the new wave comes out. Ideally, they'll be tanking them pretty close, so when you Chimera Shot, it'll passively hit 2 targets. You can switch to the big ad, but he shares health with the boss, and the boss, and shares health with him. So when you hit one, you hit the other. So here, imps are up, so make sure you have Barrage. So it's kind of like saving your focus, pulling it up to use Chimera Shot all the time, as you should be in your single target rotation. Do the same thing here with Barrage. Make sure you pull up enough focus when it's coming off cooldown to use it whenever you need it. So here a new ad comes down, so hit that. And one thing to note, do use, I drop my trinket here, get a little Barrage. I'm a little, so I mess up a little bit here. I don't save enough focus. And the boss moves out of my trinket, which is a little sad because they grip the imps out of that, but it's okay. What I was going to say is just make sure you're kill-shotting ads as you can. Obviously interrupt the imps as you can, just to help out now and then. I wouldn't necessarily recommend glyphed explosive trap usage here. I use it sometimes if there's a single imp out far and I want to knock him to the group. But in this group we have, we're pretty confident about how we kill those. But also you can kill shot the big ads as they get low when the boss isn't quite at 35% yet. So just kill off the ads here. You're also responsible for killing the purple guys, so make sure you hit those. But always just keep an eye on your focus and on your barrage timer and the imp timer. So here, I'm just trying to finish this off. I realize there's imps up, so I get enough focus barrage here. I just keep going like that. Mostly just pick off ads. Kill the imps if they need help with that. Kill the purple guys in phase 2 and 3 that are zipping around. Make sure you don't stand in the circles, or the swirls rather. And then just, pick off executes every 10 seconds when you have an ad that you can use it on. And save enough focus for barrage. And try to line up your trinket with the imps if you can. That'll get you the most value, especially if you have a DK gripping the odd group that, spreads out around the boss into them. It can be really, really helpful. So ads are up, so go and switch to them. Camera shots coming up. We got barrage coming, so barrage is going to do a lot of damage when the imps are down. Plus with the ads, you see if you angle yourself right, you can hit a bunch of stuff. I get voice surge. I'll drop it here so it'll blow up the green. It went a little quicker than I expected, which is unfortunate, and let's not talk about that explosion. And then you just finish up the boss, execute him down, and finish up the last phase 4 as a single target fight. Alright, for Tyrant Velhari, it's a pure single target fight with a little cleave, I guess. So I guess it's not really that pure. So I go power shot here most of the time. Although you could go barrage. I like to have focused DPS though. But technically anything with 2 ads for a lot of the fight you can use barrage. So anyway, we go ahead and open here. I used Stampede by accident. Normally you save it for Bloodlust whenever your raid or raid leader decides to use that, typically at the start of phase 2. So I would save that normally, but whenever they ring, use rapid fire and you trinket, and then just switch to the ad here, and there's nothing too special to do. Just hit him. Your Chimera shot, if he's close enough to the boss, will passively give you extra DPS, which is really good. So just make sure you're always prioritizing getting Chimera shot up when it's coming off cooldown. Make sure you have enough focus. Infernal Tempest, shoot it twice, or let it pulse twice, and then move, and then move back after 2 more pulses. Just like that. And you'll dodge it. And then just keep going. So again, so technically for DPS you can go barrage here. You would only use it when there's an add up with the boss. I like power shot, one because I just like more relevant DPS sometimes, most of the time. And also in phase 3, as soon as the ad puts this barrier on Velhari, you kinda lose out on the value of hitting both of them because she's taking very little damage. So they're not even up all the time during the fights, and when they are, one of them actually provides a shield that kind of negates that benefit. So if you get fought, move to where you're told to move. Here, single target the boss. Most guilds won't kill the ads, some will. Just listen to what they want. And then just follow single target rotation here. And push her as fast as you can. Now, you normally lust here, so when they lust, do your second pot. Your cooldowns if they're up. Normally in this guild we're a little bit ahead of the 2-minute timer, so we don't have ring right when Bloodlust happens, which is unfortunate, but that's how it goes. So I have the ad focused here just in case of interrupts, which you can do if you macro that, or use some sort of thing like that. Just keep an eye on it and counter shot if you need to. You'll passively cleave the ad, even if you're not focusing it with Chimera shot, and then once it's done, you'll switch over. Kill the ad, squeeze those. At this point, a lot of times guilds will start moving the boss really quickly, so your trinket's probably not going to get a value here. As you see, it moves clear out of mine, which is fine. As soon as the ad drops, though, the third ad, make sure you switch to it. It will eventually put a barrier on Velhari, so if you're using barrage, I wouldn't use it until the third ad's dead. Actually, even then, because it's dead. So I would pretty much only use it for the phase 1 and phase 2 ads. Not really worth using on a single target. You just kill this ad real quick. Don't worry about waiting for them to get close, because your Chimera's just not going to do very much to the boss until he's dead. And then just finish up and enjoy the extra high numbers provided by the buff/debuff in this phase. So you finish up the ad. Got a power shot off, and then just clean up the boss. And that'll do it for Tyrant Velhari.
For Mannoroth, we should normally go Barrage for Imps and also even for Infernals. I actually forgot to switch talents here. As you see, I have Power Shot, so a little unfortunate, but that is okay. So at the start, you can pop your cooldowns. Normally, they'll be up by the end of the fight. Phase 4 is kind of the big thing, so just if you're getting there before 5 minutes, then save Stampede. Here, you just kind of pew-pew the ad here. Basically, it's single target, but whenever there are imps up, especially, but also when infernals are up, just angle yourself so that you can hit a lot of them with barrage. Obviously, I'm not turning right now because I don't have barrage to be kind of a waste. If you happen to have power shot for some reason, just focus single target. And, Chimera shot, maybe an ad if you're going to hit 2 of them, as well as the boss, or like 1 and the boss. Steal kill shots if you can on low health ads. Anything below 35%, and just stick to priority ads. So we move on to the third one, and we know the Infernals will follow us and the Imps eventually too if everyone comes, so we kind of don't loiter around waiting for them. And we just kill these. Phase 1's pretty simple. Now as a range, you are supposed to kill Infernals, so those 2 Infernals over to the right, they're moving, but they would have been perfect for Chimera, so here, finish up the ad, then switch over to the Infernals, and just kind of chunk them down as much as possible. Dump your focus. Make sure you save enough for Chimera shot, always. As the Imps here, if you had Barrage, you would probably move somewhere so you could catch more of them. They grip them in, so I would Barrage here if I had it. You can also save your Trinket for a wave of Imps, if you like. It's in Phase 1 and 2, mostly in Phase 2. Where they'll be centered around the boss most of the time. But definitely at least keep Barrage for that. That'll get you the most value for those. Now don't forget to hit Infernals as they come out in these phases, because it is important. And to get into these things. So right here I would Barrage if I had it. On the Imps, and then maybe Chimera, one of the Imps that is close to the boss. You could probably just Chimera off the boss because his hitbox is so big. Anything that's close enough, you'll hit going off of him. And then just follow your single target rotation. Try not to move too much. Do dodge mechanics like Felseeker, which I got hit by here, sadly. And also the Hellstorm that he does. So here we've got an Infernal up there. I like to pick on the Infernals that are kind of out of the way. Me personally, I accidentally power shot and I realized as I did it that I probably shouldn't have. So I gotta clean up my mess and kill it, but it flies over eventually. So here Imps spawn. So I would turn around and Barrage if I had it. But just make sure you're killing the Infernals as you're supposed to be. And just Barrage for anything more than 1. So if there's like a couple Infernals up, generally I like to do it when they're fresh so you get the most amount of targets that you're barraging. But technically if there's just 1 thing up, it is technically a DPS boost to use Barrage then. Then you're just single targeting. New ads come down, so make sure you switch to those. I definitely want to hit this one first because I can Chimera and hit both it and the boss. And then someone knocked it back, unfortunately. But kind of aim for that, just look for that. So there's no more Imps now that we're in Phase 3. So Barrage, you'd be just looking for when a fresh wave of Infernal spawns. Just angle yourself so that you're catching all of them in that Barrage to make the most use of it. So let's keep single targeting here. Nothing too special. Follow that rotation. Don't focus with aim shot when Chimera's on cooldown. Use Chimera as much as possible when it's up. As far as staying on the platform, you've got Disengage. Probably should be using Post Haste as well to help with the sprint speed. Otherwise, keep your back to the green pillar so that you're being pushed into it rather than off the cliff. And we've got ads up here, so switch to those. I think I'd drop, I'm dropping an Explosive Trap to knock the ads out of there. To get them off the tank, which is something you can do. If you glyph Explosive Trap, you can use it to shove Infernals away from your tanks or melee or something of that nature, which can be really useful. And if you happen to take Power Shot for some reason, like you forget to change talents like I did, you can also use that if you position yourself correctly, just to move them away from the group. Especially if Gaze is coming and they just are clumped up in a really dangerous position, it can be quite useful. So ads are up, switch to those. This one's close to the boss, so I kill it first because I want those Chimeras to hit both it and the boss. If you had Shadow Force, make sure you disengage. Now make sure you turn your back toward the boss, so you fly toward the boss, not away from the boss, which would get you killed much quicker. If you don't need it for that, because you don't get picked, or you just don't need it to survive the Shadow Force, then, use it to catch a gaze, like a Mannoroth gaze, stand in a circle for someone, save their lives, make them like you a bit more. Phase 4 comes around, you should be able to start incorporating Killshot, and then just full single target here. There's nothing special. Do the mechanics, single target. You don't even have to worry about moving. I mean, you lose a little DPS, but you can do your rotation fully, so. Pop your cooldowns with the ring, and and Bloodlust or Heroism and all that, and then just finish up this big green Barney dinosaur thing. So you got Gaze, getting that. Got the Chimera going, a couple kill shots. And then he's done. Now, I started this video a little late on Archimonde, as you can tell, we're already pulling, but generally I will keep Barrage just for Phase 2, but you can also technically use it anytime where there's more than one ad, so like right here with the Doomfire, or when Death Callers are up, you can use it, and I do go ahead and use that there. Also make sure you get Chimeras off as much as possible when there's more than just the boss up and close by, so that you can get that cleave going for a little extra damage, which is helpful as well to the raid, so you're not just padding numbers. Other than that, you're just going to open pop everything with the ring. Typically people will wait a few seconds, from like 3 to 5 seconds, just so the ring blows up on the first Death Caller, basically killing it instantly at this point. And it helps, especially if you're progressing on the fight. So make sure you spread out here for Shadowfell Burst, and you just single target mostly. Just single target until Phase 2, but when there's more than one ad up, you can always Barrage, even in Phase 1 and 3. And it can be useful. Just kind of get effective DPS on like the Infernals, the little ads, Overfiends, Death Callers, all that kind of stuff. In Phase 2, once you get the ads out, you do want to save your Mirror of the Blade Master. Do keep an eye on the timer for Allure of Flames. You don't want to necessarily drop them, even if it means you have to delay it. You don't want to drop them and then have Allure happen and then you guys all run away and the ads run out of it. So generally wait till you know there's going to be at least, about 20 seconds of the duration of it. 15 or 20, I kind of forget right now, I'm blanking. But you want to make sure that you get the full value out of that trinket. So as long as there's something up here, you can Barrage. You don't have to for just 2 targets. But you definitely should with this many ads up. Let's go ahead and hit all those ads. They're kind of more higher priority than Archimonde himself. Killing the Death Caller. I have aggro on the Overfiend. I could kill that, but I know that the Death Caller's been out for a while, which hurts the tanks a lot, so I want to make sure I kill those. But your raid leader will call out what he wants dead. So just kind of follow that priority. But whenever ads are up and you have Barrage, make sure you have enough focus, just like any time. Prioritize having enough focus to use Barrage right when you want to, so you're not missing out on opportunities to hit stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of focused more on the boss. I should have barraged a little while ago, but I got some fresh ads here, so go ahead and build some focus, move Allure. And I should have barraged there again. But I think I'm kind of focused on positioning myself for having popped the ring, because our usual ring popper wasn't there. Or Frodo of this raid guild. So barrage here, try to cleave the ads down a little bit as we are in Phase 3. And then just pick up the ads. You can always kill shot ads as they're going down, squeezing an extra DPS. Even as early as on like Doomfires and things like that. If you go inside, make sure you do slow the star and kill it. You are really good at that. You've got Concussive Shot, you've got Frost Trap, which you can also use as part of killing living shadows here, which is another thing you're really good at. So you can drop a Frost Trap on the circle, you can Concussive Shot it, and then kill it. And you kill it in 1 or 2 shots, so like 1 Chimera, 1 aim shot. We'll typically finish it off, or like 1 of those and then a kill shot just to finish it up. So drop a Frost Trap on it, or you can use Binding Shot to stun it as well. You can knock it back with Explosive Trap if you glyph it. All those kinds of things you can do. So you got a lot of utility here to slow the ads. You can kite the Infernals, which we're about to get here. Most of the time I'm just focused on killing because we have a small group, most focused on killing the living shadows. What you can of course slow the Infernals, and you can use your Distracting Shot to taunt them and kind of kite them around the room. But prioritize killing those. Don't kite them too far away from the group. Here, I was trying to make it to the group. I was a little far out because the other portal was on the other side of the room. It's a little bit of a misplay on our tanks, but it's okay. Just make sure you can... And one thing you can do too is you could just like trap, use Frost Trap on one of the portals when you get multiple portals, and then, you know, save concussive shot for the other portal to kill the Ed coming out of the other one. Other than that, just single target here. You can barrage for the Infernals if you like when they're up. Again, angle yourself so that you get those. So you hit everything. And that's pretty much it for this fight. I hope this video helped you out with some tips, tricks, and things to think about during this. I do have the link for the guide video in the description. You know, if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, you know, feel free to hit this with a like, maybe subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I hope to see you guys next time. Cheers.